Michael was joking around with Danny, and Danny has been known to have a chip on his shoulder. He's a volatile child, I would say. He's had a rough time. Well, his mother left several years ago, and so we are aware at the school that the family have gone through something. I don't know if something Mikey said triggered him, but he assaulted my son in a classroom at school, and I was called during the day, and the paramedics had to take him to the ER. He had a fractured nose that might need cosmetic surgery later on when he's older. He had a sprained arm, which I thought was broken. He had a blackened eye and bruises and scratches all over.
So this is a serious fight. Mr. Freeman, you were contacted. What do you know about the situation?
From my understanding, Mikey over here is just a bully. Flat out. This isn't the first occasion that he's had with my son. You know, he's been picking on him for years.
My son is not a bully.
And he bullies other children at school as well. And
so did you contact anybody about the fact that, in your opinion, Mikey's been bullying your son, Danny?
Well, I have contacted his mother. I sent her an email hoping that would correct the behavior, but nothing ever changed.
And so what was your response to that email?
My response to that email was I wanted to be supportive because I realized that Mr. Freeman was parenting on his own, and it's a difficult enough job to do if there's two of you. So I just wanted to be an ear to listen to him at that stage. I spoke to several of the teachers at the school who all report to me that my son is a leader in the school. I spoke to Mikey. I spoke to Mikey about it, and I let him know that Daniel was having a difficult time, and I asked him to include him as much as he could in a group of young men so that he would have some support. And so Mikey went out of his way to make sure he was including him. They play football together.
Danny, what happened that day?
We've been sort of competitive friends since the 7th grade.
When you mean competitive friends, what does that mean?
Well, we compete a lot, whether it's getting girls or in sports. He's actually the starting quarterback on our football team.
All right.
I'm the second string, the backup. So fast forward Monday, and over the weekend, my favorite football team had lost. He came in class just looking for a reason to fight. He's always very aggressive, and he does little things to, like, tick me off. He would kick my desk several times. He would flick my ear. He would say things in my ear while I'm sitting and trying to do my work. He knows I'm introverted, and I'm calm, and I stay to myself. So that's why he does these things.
So, come on, talk to me, Mikey. What's going on between you and Danny?
Yeah, so we've been classmates since 7th grade, and I think he's always had an issue with me. I'm the starting quarterback. I get all the girls. I'm a pretty popular guy at our high school. So obviously, he'd clearly be jealous. And yeah, I mean, I joke around with him. It's not bullying. I like to tease everybody. It's fun. We're in high school. We're kids.
Joking?
So what happened the day of this incident? Did you say something that triggered this? I mean, what happened?
One of his favorite teams was playing the night before, and they lost. And I was just giving him a hard time about that, saying, like, you know, they suck and you suck. Just stuff. We're in high school. I was just joking around with him.
Your Honor,
it's all fun and games.
We could have pressed charges. We were
joking.
told we could have pressed charges, and I chose not to. But we're doing this because it has cost my family a lot. It has been very distressing, and I want for Daniel to have other tools in his coping mechanisms than violence when he gets upset by things.
So, Mr. Freeman, tell me your take on all of this.
I believe my son was just defending himself. This has simply been going on. He's been bullied for years, ever since middle school. And I was told that Mikey spit in my son's face. And
on the day that this happened?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you spit in his face?
Your Honor, people naturally spit when they talk. They make it like I hucked a loogie at him. No, I was just speaking to him. I'm sure maybe something came out by accident.
You were yelling directly in my face. Come on now, don't play.
People always, when they're talking, they spit sometimes. I did not wind up and huck a loogie at him.
Let me just talk to everybody. I cannot tell you over the years how many cases I have seen which could have just been so much worse. But let me tell you what bullying does. And I've seen this. I have seen children bullied in this nation to the point where they have committed suicide, where they couldn't take it anymore. I have seen situations where children have not been able to go back to the school because they are afraid to go to school. I have seen kids who are afraid to walk home because they're bullied. And now it has been taken to a whole nother level because of cyberbullying. So it's not only you're in my face bullying me, but now you put it out on social media, on the internet, and hundreds, if not thousands of people read it. This is a problem. I don't believe the whole thing about you just talking and you just happen to spit on him. You know, somehow that doesn't ring clearly true to me today. And if that were true, and if you did spit on him, that is just really, really messed up. What disciplinary action was taken? I read in the complaint that the kids were all put out of school
Suspended.
for 3 days.
Yeah.
So if your son was such an angel, why was he put out of school for 3 days?
Because any physical altercation at that school they take very seriously, and Mikey had defended himself after the altercation took place. But he was out of school for a week with his injuries, and he missed 4 of the really important football games for that school that year, which impacts on his scholarship abilities.
Now, Ms. Jensen, in all honesty, because we all think our children, you know, are wonderful, have you been getting other complaints about Mikey? Honestly. Honestly.
I have only had the complaint from Mr. Freeman, which I took seriously, and I sat down and I had to talk to Mikey.
Not seriously enough.
Well, then why didn't Mikey just leave Danny alone after you talked to him?
He wanted to include him.
Include him?
And a lot of the boys, you know how boys are, they joke around with each other, and you know, if he's sitting there quietly and he seems like he's not part of it, I want him to include him.
Mr. Freeman, what's your take on this?
My take is that whatever talk she claims she had with her son just went in one ear and out the other, you know, and hopefully she can learn that, you know, she needs to teach her sons lessons in bullying, or else other people will.
Well, now, but you cannot condone your child like beating another child either. Now,
I don't
Come on.
condone the fighting at all, but I've taught them to defend themselves, and they are respectful to everybody. You know, fighting is a last resort. It is always a last resort. I want them to fight with their minds, not with their fists.
Hi. So, what's the relationship like between the two of you now, Danny and Mikey? What's going on between you all?
Well, really the only time we communicate now is on the football field. Other than that, we just keep it cordial.
Maybe that's the wise thing to do. Mr. Freeman, I noticed in your response to the complaint that you had offered to pay some of the medical bills. What's your position on that this morning?
Yes, I'm okay with paying some of the medical bills, but definitely not all. And I certainly don't feel like I'm responsible for paying for pain and suffering, because he's the one that started the fight, and he's put my son through pain and suffering for years.
If your son was using his mind to fight and not his fists, then there would be no medical
What do you think
bills
he's been
at all.
doing since middle school? He had problems for a very long time. He's turned the other cheek. How much verbal abuse is he supposed to take?
I wish, Mr. Freeman, that you had been more aggressive, not only in talking to her, but maybe going to the school officials. You're sending him to school to be educated, not harassed and bullied. And so my message to you and to all that may be listening today is that if your children are subject to being bullied, then you've got to be aggressive, and you've got to let school officials know, and you've got to keep hammering this in, that this is not acceptable. And Ms. Jensen, I don't think that, you know, Mikey is the perfect angel that you're painting him out to be, you know, and I'm not so convinced that he didn't spit on him that day, which may have triggered this and escalated this out of hand. Do I condone the violence? Absolutely not. And I want you to be very clear about this. Absolutely not. I do not condone the violence. But I also understand that, you know, Mikey may have had some responsibility in this whole thing escalating to this physical altercation. Are you going to get all the money you've asked for in pain and suffering? No. But I am going to order Mr. Freeman, and I'm assuming that there was some deductible on your medical insurance. I am going to have Mr. Freeman pay $1,000 of the $2,700 that you're claiming in medical fees. Because I don't think Mikey came with clean hands on this, and so I am not ordering the $10,000 in this matter. And so judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000, we will stand adjourned.